used to, no one had a camera with them. Maybe you had a friend that for some weird reason had a camera with them. And so they would take a picture of you at a party. They would take a picture of you at a graduation event. They would take a picture at you at some kind of life event because they knew something was going to happen. Now we have cameras constantly in our pocket, kind of along the lines of the calculator always in our pocket, right? And so it's very easy now to take pictures of everything going on. And we've even went to the point to where if there's nothing going on that somebody wants to take a picture of me, I will take a picture of myself. And now we've called it a selfie, and we go ahead and take a picture of ourselves at a certain thing. Maybe we're by ourselves. Maybe we're in some vacation type situation where I'm sitting on a beach and I want you to see that I'm sitting on this beach. But the one thing I don't think anyone was ready for social media is we can present a different version of ourselves. So then you have category 2, which is the ridiculous slutty women that just want to say whatever it is to intrigue the male mind to say, oh, I want to swipe the correct direction. Because, like I said, I've never been on these apps, so I don't know if it's right or left. Whichever the correct direction is to connect with them, they put whatever they want on there, and they come up with some kind of creative little anecdote or whatever. They play something off their name, or they say some terrible thing. If it's really a dating app, if it's really something that somebody is out there searching for somebody, why do they put that horrible crap on there when they absolutely know that there's no future in it?
And I can kind of see the avenue people who are against Bigfoot go, that they believe in this absolute dated version of evolution where it comes from. They believe Homo sapiens came from apes and they started walking upright and blah blah blah, and so it becomes the missing link, and Bigfoot is somehow this missing link which has become frozen in time and never evolved. And I think that's why a lot of people who decide that Bigfoot doesn't exist out of rationale or science can't accept that there might be something frozen in time. But what if it's just a different deviation of a species? Because an upright walking ape is not the most shocking thing, because a giraffe to me is far more shocking than an upright walking ape.
To me, if I look at a giraffe, I think that is, if you believe in Judeo-Christian ideals, the giraffe is proof that God has a sense of humor.
Right.
It's like, okay, let me make something that looks like a horse, is spotted like a leopard, has this long neck that nothing else has, and it's going to eat leaves. Can't hunt anything. Looks just goofy. And by the way, years later, we're going to make him the mascot for Toys R Us.
Right.
Because what better mascot for Toys R Us than a goofy animal that's a giraffe?
Well, I actually...
You can barely toilet train dogs and cats now.
Right.
I have a little dog that walks around my house right now, and even though he knows to go to the back door and smack against the back door to say, hey, let me out, there's nothing that stops him to say, you know what? You didn't feed me on time today, so I'm going to go ahead and pee on the carpet in the front room and just say, oh, now who's in charge of this place?
Not going back to...
Or
why do you think we have these different names? Because I can understand Bigfoot because there's some redneck hunter who's like, oh, he's got a bigger foot than I have, and so it's called Bigfoot. Sasquatch, you're thinking it's an American Indian name, maybe, I don't know, we're ignorant about it. The Yeti, and that comes from the Himalayas, and I don't know, again.
Well, yeah, but that
guessing,
dude.
But the abominable snowman, why that one? Because I saw a meme, and the abominable snowman is like, abominable seems a little bit harsh, huh?
Well, so in today's day and age, if the abominable snowman existed, they would have to change his name, because that would be probably a cancelable name.
Rude.
Yeah. But it's also the same thing if you look back when Return of the Jedi was being filmed. They had to put a safety vest on Peter Mayhew as he was playing Chewbacca, because they were afraid that people traveling around in the redwood forest of California would think he was Bigfoot and try to shoot him. And he, no kidding, had 2 bodyguards standing with him, had the yellow vest on. And if you don't believe me, please, everybody, look this up. This is legitimately true, that there are people that want to be that person that discovers this thing that we don't know whether or not it exists. The attraction for a young person to make music. They don't really even care about the part about making music. They really care about being famous.
Right.
I don't think Morrissey or Johnny Mars cared about being famous.
Yeah.
They cared about giving their message.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Jimi Hendrix cared about being famous. He had a message that he was trying to get out. I don't think that several of the artists from way back when cared about being famous. They had a message that they wanted everybody to hear. Yeah. They would go to festivals. They would go on different tours. They had a message they wanted everybody to hear. Nowadays, it's how many streams do you get? How many likes on Instagram do you get? How many likes do you get on your TikTok? How many social media hits do you get? Because that is what is interesting now. And
obviously, stood there with you in your garage, and, you've had your vinyl record player there, and you put on Hatful of Hollow by the Smiths, and there's just definitely something about a purer sound that comes from vinyl. And I know, you're a big Smashing Pumpkins fan, and I think some of their earlier albums, some of the lyrics, some of the titles, again, resonated with a disenfranchised youth that felt separated from the rest of the pack, or what the rest of the pack was supposed to feel like. But is there one song that you, and I mean, forget, the famous one, How Soon Is Now, over here in the United States, is there one set of lyrics or one song which just really hit home with you with the Smiths?
So that at the first of the year, or just before the first of the year, most gyms say, hey, come join our gym. We'll waive the fee to join. We'll waive the subscription fee. It's only going to cost you $10 a month. It's going to cost you $20 a month. Maybe you pay $99 for a year. But it's always about going to this giant facility full of all these workout machines and tricking you into believing that you actually need to walk into this place and let all kinds of strangers watch you work out. 70, 80-year-old people going to the grocery store, and you know what? You've got the guy that's on the walker, right? And he gets out of his car and he grabs the walker, and he drove the car to the grocery store. He gets the walker out of the back seat, and he walks in the grocery store, and he buys the food or whatever in the grocery store, and then needs some help outside from the 16, 15, 17-year-old kid that's sacking the groceries or whatever. And then there's people saying, oh, look at that guy, what's he doing? You know what?
Yeah.
Those people that are looking bad on somebody like that, that's actually trying to continue their life and trying to do the things that they did not 10, 20 years ago.
But you know what I see when I see that scenario?
What's that?
75-year-old guy who's putting that walker in the back of the car and, parking is, I kind of wonder why they don't have a younger relative who couldn't sign them up to Amazon Fresh.
Well, the first iteration of music of any kind that was online was literally a place called mp3.com. And it was later it was purchased by Broadcast Music, which ended up being swept up by Mark Cuban's company, but then ended up getting shut down for a little company called Napster. And mp3.com was the first fully non-commercial, non-label website where anyone who could create music could put it on. They had charts and you could sell your music. And the first taste of anything I ever got was I put a song on there, and it was one I thought was pretty good. And I don't know, in like a couple of days, I got an email or something and said, you might want to go check out the charts. You're number 6. And I'm like, well, whatever. That doesn't mean anything. Well, it does when there's 200,000 people a day going to the website.